Hi, this is Kat of SpookyMoon.com. Today we're going to make this card, which is for an art abandonment swap that I'm doing, so I'll be making an extra one of these to abandon somewhere. And this is called High Enough. It was inspired by one of my favorite things, hair metal, and it's a lyric from the song High Enough by Damn Yankees. So we're going to start with a piece of yellow cardstock. This is cut rather than 2.5 by 3.5, but 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, so that I have room for a little frame around it. I'm using this hand-carved stamp, and we're going to get that nice and smooshy with some Versamark ink. Position that just right. There we go. I'll bring in some fine embossing powder so I don't lose the detail. Make sure I get the feathers up here. I'm always missing those feathers. And tap it off. Oops, it's got embossing powder everywhere. And let's get that embossed. Give that a second to cool off. Want to make sure it's nice and cool. Okay, next I'm going to take some Distress ink in Salty Ocean and one of the sponge daubers, and just apply this beautiful blue Distress ink around the bird. The embossing acts as a resist, so that comes up really nicely. We've got some kind of sharp lines there, but don't worry about it. We're about to take care of that. Time to bring out the spray box. Here I've got one of my favorite stencils. It's just plain dots. I like stencils that are versatile like this, not really specific, just stuff you can use for a lot of different things. And I have some Starburst spray from LindsayStampGang.com in Bayou Boogie Gold. Shake that up really well. And I'm going to give this quite a few squirts here. And that looks really wet, and that's what I want. I'm going to get rid of some of the spritz on the wings and leave a little bit of it, but get rid of some of that. And this is where the magic happens. All that moisture is going to take the Distress ink and move it around and soften those edges. See how beautifully that softened everything, and some of the ink even got a little bit under the embossing, so it softened the bird as well. Now this is kind of curvy, so to flatten it out some for the next step, I'm going to go ahead and put it on its backing. I'm using this nice dark navy blue cardstock. And this is my current favorite tape runner. It's a Scrapbook Adhesives Easy Runner. Next week I'm sure I'll have a different favorite. Let's get this lined up. Okay, well that's a little bit crooked, but I can live with that. Okay, here's my text. I've got a couple of copies of it on here. What I did was I took some ecru, just a nice light beige cardstock, and I did a very light wash with Distress Stain in Vintage Photo, and then I flattened it out as much as I could, and I ran it through my printer, and then over the top I gave it a very light spritz of the Cattail Copper Brown, another Starburst spray from LindsayStampGang.com. Okay, let's cut that out. cut the waste paper over away from my actual words so I don't get them mixed up. Everything ends up upside down. Okay, this sucker is a lifesaver. It's called a quick stick, quicker poker picker-upper. You can pick up just about anything with this, and it gives me a lot more control. And I've got just some Aleene's tacky glue here. I'm going to put down a little bit for the first spot. Probably a little bit more than I needed, which is generally what I do. And this just makes it really easy to pick up tiny things. Yeah, and then I forget to use it. Here we go. And I'm going to press these down with a paper towel. That way I am blotting the extra glue at the same time that I'm getting them set. Oops, there we go. You stay. I'd say I don't get sticky fingers this way, but I do. Okay, and these have really wanted to curl, so I'm going to come back when the Aleene's is a little bit tackier and probably have to press them down again. But for right now, I'll just show you how I'm doing the back. Just bring in one that's already done. For the letters, I was trying to play with my stamp maker, and the letters, the words themselves didn't work, but I wanted to take up room on the little gel pack that they give you, so I made a stamp for the back, and that did work. So here I've got a stamp from the stamp maker in the same font as the front, and my SIG stamp, and those are both just stamped with StazOn. And in the middle I just did a little gold bird stamp with some color box gold. And there's the finished card.